Hey, Bayek, it's me, and well, in today's video, I'm going to look at the X-Files. Yes, and this will be season 1. It's a series I've always loved. Well, since it was transmitted, it became a cultural phenomena without doubt. You know, like Doctor Who and Star Trek. I mean, it was a big series. It really was, and certainly in the 90s. At certain points in the 90s, it was massive. It was a worldwide phenomena, this. It really was. And, well, it's interesting to reflect on it now of why it made such an impact. But let me get into it. Okay, so now this first episode called Pilot, they put it down as the pilot episode, Pilot, was actually transmitted on the 10th of September 1993 on Fox Network. And then the BBC on 19th of September 1994 transmitted it on BBC Two. Now that's interesting. It started on BBC Two, but the ratings were so good that, well, what could they do? I'll tell you what they did. Eventually, it got transferred further seasons down onto BBC One. The ratings were good. They've perceived they would get better ratings. It became a great talked about series. Yeah, amazing it was. Absolutely. It's 48 minutes long, not that long at all. And the next story is called Deep Throat. But let's go into this series. It was created by Chris Carter, and he was inspired and influenced by Kolchak, The Night Stalker. That is one that he often cites from 1974 to 1975, which is a reporter looking into supernatural, alien, all this sort of horror stuff as well. A brilliant series it was, really well loved. And then it was written, of course, this pilot by Chris Carter. So there you are. He's very much in the X-Files, involved in writing episodes as well as obviously getting other writers in. And it was directed by Robert Mandel, whose most famous feature film was FX Murder by Illusion from 1986. Right. I think what I'll do now is just go into the cast. We've got David Duchovny playing Fox Mulder, and this really made him, this series. It really did. He's billed, I suppose, in terms of as the star of the series. But, well, Gillian Anderson, who I think the Fox perhaps were not quite as keen. She was totally unknown, unlike Duchovny, who had a bit of more behind him. But Gillian Anderson played Dana Scully, and wow, straight away. And the chemistry between the two was what the series became about. Yes, and that's so important. They developed this wonderful friendship, relationship. Chris Carter has talked about that's what he wanted at first, more of a platonic friendship, but of course it did inevitably go into a sexual, romantic side, both sort of things. I don't think he was keen, but he realised it inevitable, and the viewers will they, I won't. Oh yeah, this always adds to series. Though don't all do it. Doctor Who, originally classic Doctor Who, did not do that. It was very much a platonic series. They didn't bring sex into it, basically. It was all very friendly and all that business. Yes, anyway, that's just a passing remark. Then we have, making his first appearance would be William B. Davis, playing the smoking man. And what a character he becomes throughout the series. He doesn't say anything, but his appearance and his presence is so sinister. Now, he is really a a lot of TV series and TV films. Though he did have a role in The Dead Zone, which I absolutely love. I've talked about it before. 1983, Dead Zone, fantastic film. Also, Death Note 2017. Death Note 2017. That was a remake of the Japanese series, all that. And also, of course, he appeared in 1998, the X-Files film, because this series did spawn 2 feature films. So there we have William B. Davis as the smoking man. Then we've got Charles Cioffi, who plays Scott Blevins. Now, a couple of feature films that stood out straight away to me. He was in Shaft 1971, Experienced Actor, Clute 1971, and, yeah, I've got Time After Time. Yes, 1979, brilliant story, Jack the Ripper, H.G. Wells, wonderful cast. Wow, it's brilliant. Absolutely love that film. I really do. And then of course, it's the same. I was going to say it. TV, lots of TV experience, massive TV experience in TV films. Right, then we've got Cliff DeYoung playing Dr. J. Newman. He was in The Hunger. Wow, I love The Hunger. David Bowie. What a film. That is the vampire film. He was also in The Craft. Nev Campbell. Remember that? Nev Campbell, 1996. Wonderful. Then we've got Leon Russon playing Detective Miles. Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, 1991. He was in that. Fantastic film. That is brilliant original Star Trek. Last of the original proper cast film. Also, he was in The Big Lebowski. I can never say that word. That's from 1998. And then A Quiet Place from 2018. Then we've got Zachary Ainsley playing Billy Miles. Crucial part in this. He's in lots of TV series and TV films. These are just the sort of main cast members that I've looked at. Now, this was filmed over 14 days during March 1993. And a lot of it was around Vancouver in British Columbia. And there are some wonderful sights. You just look at it. The film, they always look good. What I liked about the X-Files, they have a cinematic quality about them, all the locations. Canada is a great place. That's why a lot of TV filming was done in Canada. Also, this is cost-wise. I mean, the X-Files didn't go, I think, to Hollywood until season 6. But I think it just really looks good. It just adds to it. Fantastic. It really does. Anyhow, let me just talk about the story. There's no musical intro of the X-Files theme, which we normally get in the episodes. This one hasn't got that. Probably because it's the pilot, yes. Now, it starts with this young woman. She's in she's running. She's scrambling around in this forest area and comes into a clearing. There's these big, bright, shining lights. We see like a vortex appear. Somebody trying to grab hold of her. And then that's it, this massive light. And in she goes and disappears. And then a body is found there. And the local law enforcement come along and they're dealing with it. And you get the feeling they don't want anybody else to be involved. And it turns out that these deaths are all linked by the same people from a certain class of a particular year. And yes, there's intrigue already building. But then we move on to the FBI headquarters where Dana Scully is being interviewed by one of the chief bods and a few other people. And also we see the smoking man watching rather mysteriously and sinister as the goings on. He doesn't introduce himself or nothing. He's just there hanging around watching her. And they explain about the X-Files, what they are, and that they want her to do reports on these X-Files, and that a partner in this will be the one who's controlling them at the moment, which is Fox Mulder, and she knows all about him, and we get all that. She's doing her research. She's also a medical doctor. She's really very intelligent, very good FBI agent, and they say they want reports, and she's saying, "Is it really to debunk all this?" It says, "You write the reports on what you feel it is." So that's what she does, and then we meet in the basement with Fox Mulder, and he thinks she's there spying on her, but he knows about her. He sees it as that they put him there and they want to debunk all the X-Files, and then we get into a whole narrative about him, how he, about his, why he's so into all the X-Files and what he does, and his knowledge is incredible. He just knows so much. And then we get onto this case about what has happened to this woman. They go out and they're not welcome at all. Also, it's revealed that already quite early on that when he was 12 years old, he believes his sister, young sister, was abducted. Now, he thinks his conclusion is it was by aliens. That's where it's all leading to. But it's never been proven or solved, but she's totally disappeared. And it's kind of pushed him into this area of studying about phenomena, strange phenomena, occultism, aliens, supernatural, all these things. He really took an interest in, but it all stems from that. His sister. Yeah. So that is how the premise and the investigation goes, and it takes various turns, and it's very good. We get they work out how all this is happening, and of course, she's got to write a report on this back to them, and she kind of does it in quite an interesting way. The way she writes it, she doesn't debunk it all, but she doesn't say that there's evidence there, that tangible evidence, as she said, of alien abduction. But there is this like metal artifact, which they sort of implant, which they discovered. And that is quite important to the story, because we see a bit later, we see it anyhow, this in the Pentagon, this sort of storage area where there's loads of artifacts that we assume in there, and the smoking man, of course, appears in that. So this story is really feeding in at that time to all about, saying about UFO interests in that, and also about cover-ups, about covering up UFOs and all that. But we're going to get a bigger take on that, as you'll see in the next episode, and how that develops. So this is the first time, and already you can see what is going to come, because the relationship is so good between Mulder and Scully already. It's fantastic just seeing them, and they grow as the series, and you get to actually care and really like these two characters. And of course, they come across a lot of problems throughout and obstacles, and they go through such a lot together. But this is a great introduction. It makes you want to watch the next episode, which I did, and which I'll be reviewing. I love this series. I can't talk enough about it. It was a great start to a classic, brilliant series. Maybe near the end, it did lose its way. But when it was its height and when it was great, it was just spot on. Nothing at the time was quite like it. And of course, it spawned a lot of imitations and interests in this kind of area, and that's what happened. Even a spin-off series, really. 2 spin-offs. We got Millennium and The Lone Gunman. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. Yes. I hope you enjoyed it. I didn't want to go on too long, but I love this series. I thought I'd just like to share my thoughts on this series and why I love it. And I'd highly recommend if you can get to watch it at some point. Just a quick, I've got this box set, and this is in the box set. It's a big box set with all the seasons in. There's 9 seasons of this, and then a special as well in there. And then I've got the movies as well. But this is the first episode. There's 24 episodes. Bayek. So that's it. That's my new series starting, and this is the first one in this new series. So, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hopefully you might like the videos and have a look and see what I do. I do a lot of other things, movies and TV shows and, nostalgia. A lot of it's based on nostalgia. And if you like this particular video, please give it a like. It helps it get into the algorithms and all that. You know what I mean, don't you? And, also, if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read what you say and what you feel about these things. Also, it costs note, so you can't say fairer than that, can they? Bayek, you can't. Bayek, not nowadays, Anyhow, that's it. I've gone on too long, and all I'm going to say is, I'll see thee again.